I always loved music, but I could never make music. I have a terrible voice. Tried to play guitar, tried to play piano, tried to play clarinet. All these things, I just don't have that natural skill. And I found karaoke. The first time I did it, I was like, wow, you could just get up and sing into this microphone, and people will just like sit there, and nobody will throw drinks at you. People will actually like get up and sing along. Like, that was mind blowing for me, and it really kind of like crossed a line to go from like fan to performer like that.
Well, there's a remarkable bonding element to karaoke. You warm up to everyone around you when you're singing together somehow.
People are so warm. It's amazing. People like create this environment where everybody like gives each other permission to do anything. Everybody's totally positive. Nobody boos. Everybody just like, you go to karaoke, people are like, high-fiving strangers and hugging strangers and singing along, and like everybody's going, no, you were awesome. No, you were awesome. And it's kind of funny. It's like karaoke. It's really the only environment that you can think of where you just like hang out with like a bunch of strangers and just like, pile on that kind of like love and warmth. It's really like, it's weird. I always think it's like the total opposite of an airport, because like airport, you're like confined with all these people, and like everybody's like really territorial. Karaoke, it's just like, just creates this weird bond.
The title is a pretty famous 80s song in itself. Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart, Turn Around Bright Eyes is a very memorable. You say that word, that phrase, everybody knows that song. Did you have to go to Bonnie Tyler and say, hey, I'm planning on using, this in the title?
The song is just, it's part of the world, like you said, it's like everybody knows that phrase, everybody knows that song. And it's really like, it's a song that's become like really kind of a karaoke international anthem, like that's a song that says, if you hear that song, you're usually probably in a karaoke bar. And that's a song that, was famous at one level, then karaoke takes off, and karaoke takes that song to a whole other level. Don't Stop Believin' is another song like that, where it's like, it was already a famous song, but then people start singing it in karaoke bars, and it becomes something different, because these songs like being really bombastic and extroverted, karaoke kind of forces you to tap into that element in your personality.
You talked earlier about the 80s being this, amazing musical period. Like you, I came of age in the early 1980s, the dawn of MTV, a lot going on in the musical scene. It's sort of a beloved. It wasn't always beloved. The sort of melange that is the 80s music, and there's a lot in there. What is it about that era's music that you think is special?
Look, the 80s were a time when there were all these new formats, all these new technologies, and people were really sort of crossing lines. So you had stuff like new wave and hip hop and metal all stealing ideas from each other. You had the great thing of like Prince doing a song like Let's Go Crazy, where he's trying to sound like Van Halen or something. Then you have Van Halen doing a song like Jump, which is trying to sound like Prince. It sounds like a lot like Prince. And you have both of those songs in the top 10 of the singles chart. That's like a really exciting time. All these different scenes and all these different cultures are sort of listening to each other and stealing each other's stuff.
What is it about those songs that last?
Well, it's weird. Like for different eras, there's different strengths that they have, but 80s pop songs were really into that sort of cheesy overkill bombast, let it rip, all out. Chorus, we'll have another chorus, then another chorus, then a total redundant key change, then another key change, then like we'll fade out in like 20 choruses in a row. That's like sort of perfect for karaoke. And it's funny that we think of like 80s songs as being such perfect karaoke songs just because the music of that era is just, it tends to sound good in a really like loud room where people are singing along.
Yeah, it sure does.
A song like Don't Stop Believin' or Living on a Prayer, like they sound better with like 300 drunk people singing along. It's almost like the original version is really just like the demo, like the Journey or Bon Jovi version. It's like the song really becomes what it is when, at 4 a.m. in a karaoke bar where everybody's wasted and just like singing along.
So you write for Rolling Stone, we know that, but it wasn't until your wife died suddenly that you decided to turn to memoir. When did it dawn on you that you had a story to tell there and that it could be told with music as that really important backdrop?
Yeah, I had tried to write about that experience with grief and loss, and I tried about it many times, and it took a few years. What I found was just writing about the music that had been part of the connection between us was really the most direct and honest way to write about it. It's funny, I started writing Love as a Mixtape. One night I was moving into a new apartment and I was unpacking boxes of tapes that I'd had boxed up in my previous apartment. I was putting them on the shelves, and every tape that I pulled out seemed to be saying, yes, play me, I have a story to tell. Remember the summer of 1996, remember the winter of 1993. Every tape seemed to be like just screaming out and bringing back all these memories, and I found myself just writing about them because they brought these moments alive. And for me, like, that's the most fun way to write about music. And writing about karaoke, it's not that different, because you hear these songs that you've heard all your life. They're different when you're singing them with with a person who is new to you, and the way that music changes through your life. There's songs that you think and then you sing them as a karaoke duet, and like they're totally different.
When you hear songs on the radio, I mean, are you the type that places yourself and this is where I was? I mean, can you remember moments?
Yeah, every time I hear Rebel Yell, this is a song like I hear 1,000 times a year. Always reminds me of getting my first speeding ticket, and like I-95 and like 1983. That's just like the sort of like memory that is always going to attach itself to music. Every song seems to have like different memories associated with it, whether it's this obscure indie rock song that like only you and a few of your friends like, and it reminds you of those bonds, or whether it's like this huge pop jam that you hear everywhere you go. Either way, like the music has some kind of personal connection to you, and you don't necessarily know what that is. And for me, like karaoke is a way of discovering it, and also writing about it is a way of discovering it.
The idea of a mixtape is something that fascinates me too. I'm not sure that the new generation, I think they're sharing music like they used to, probably mass quantities of it, actually hard drives full. But the idea of a mixtape was carefully crafted, specifically selected, often for the target recipient.
Yeah.
And there was something intimate that when you handed over a mixtape, it was almost like code language for, I really like you, and I made you this. And there's so much within each song, as you said. Is there an equivalent today? And were you a huge mixtape kid when you were growing up?
Yeah, I always made mixtapes. And it's funny that it is, like you said, like it's something that you put time into. You can't rush a mixtape.
Design it,
yes.
Maybe draw it.
Exactly, come up with a title for side A, title for side B, and think of like the right song for the first song on side B, and work out the time so that they fit. Something about a mixtape is really personal, and that obviously the format's changed. That people aren't making mixtapes the same way that they used to. I still make mixtapes. I don't know like if anybody else does.
Person still?
I still love cassettes. I still listen to them all day because I just have a boombox on my desk, and that's just like what I have. But now they can like post a song like on each other's Facebooks or like Twitter song or Twitter a Vine or like whatever. Like there's always like some new format that has come up, and it's funny that music is always the thing that people find out how to use it for. It's like music and sex are like basically the two things. Any new technology, people will find a way to use it for those two. So it's kind of like the mixtape format has changed, but that basic thing of like, hey, I hear this song here, like you would like it. I'm passing it on to you. That's something that I feel like that's a fundamental human thing that goes down to medieval troubadours like strumming the lute in front of the lady's window. It's the same kind of thing. Like if you like somebody, and like especially like you've got a crush on somebody, like you send a song to them, and the format changes, but that basic impulse is still there to give a song to somebody and share a song with somebody.